welcome everyone who has joined us again. So for the next India Bioscience, India Biostreams webinar, we have with us Professor Ponnurangam Kumaraguru from International Institute of Information Technology, Hyderabad. And before I welcome him to start sharing about his work, I would like to give you all a little bit of a context. As a community, while we have been rapidly expanding output-wise and with more research being generated every year, it has been particularly challenging to make complex findings accessible to the broader public. We are doing decently well at generating publications. We might still be playing catch up with the latter, which eventually compromises our ability to strengthen the science society linkage. And there is an added layer of complexity when it comes to making research more accessible because of disciplinary specialization. For instance, since I'm trained in anthropology and biology, it becomes very difficult for me to understand a paper from mathematics or physics. So our India Biostreams webinar today addresses just that gap and is in alignment with the organization's larger commitment to advancing community engagement and equity in communication, both academic and public. So it's a pleasure to introduce Professor Kumaraguru, and he will talk to you all about Saral AI, which is not just another AI-based tool to summarize your research, but does more than that. And in addition to everything that it does and which PK will share, it also aids the process of unpacking dense research papers for an audience with varied levels of understanding. The platform itself promises to make information in research publications more accessible in multiple Indian languages as well. And how many Indian languages and everything about the process is something that I would welcome PK to share. And along with their larger vision of democratizing research for everyone in India. So welcome, PK.
Thanks, Siuli. Thanks everyone for joining, and thanks for this opportunity to present our work that we have been doing for a few months now, and thanks to definitely India Biosciences for the opportunity. Just to get to know the audience a bit, can you type I assume all of you can do the chat window. So can you please type the cities that you're joining the call from? So let's take, in my case, Hyderabad. Okay, Pune, Faridabad, Bangalore, Delhi.
Jabalpur, Kolkata, Tanjavur, Mumbai.
Mumbai, Hyderabad. So Hyderabad, Devanshi, you should come to campus only. Please come to campus sometime. I'm happy to show it to you in person also. Okay, Bangalore. Okay, many more Bangalore. Okay, and one word or two word descriptor of what your role is. For example, in my case, it's professor. PhD student, independent researcher, program manager, PhD scholar, postdoc, assistant professor, DBT fellow, assistant professor, postdoc, program manager, postdoc. Okay, so that gives me a sense of people who are here. So everybody understands then the research cycle, mechanism, probably the difficulty, all of that. Okay, very good. Please use the chat. If you have any questions, post it. The plan is to do the entire session and then take the questions for discussion. We'll see how it goes. Thanks to, again, making these kind of flyers and posting it. and promoting these kind of content is generally a very welcome thing. And as speakers, we like it because hopefully it's gotten to people who are definitely interested in knowing about it. And thanks again for putting it in YouTube, live sessions, all that. So here's my first, so to say, broad view of what our interest is. Democratizing research, that's the title of the talk also. In that, the one part that we'll cover is Saral AI, which is the primary thing that I will spend time on. But to give you, just break some components of what Siuli said about what our interests are. So democratized research can be thought of in many different ways. So we took this approach of looking at from in India, what all can we do? So why should we do it, right? I think some points that she said earlier was, look, it's hard to actually communicate very, very technical research content to non-technical or the public at large. So can you actually think of ways, mechanisms by which this can be, this sort of the gap can be bridged? Of course, our interest, particularly from academia, interest is also to get students, researchers who don't have otherwise access to many of these things and get them part of the ecosystem also, right? So for example, how do you use current AI, whatever the tools and techniques that are available to enhance your research, not do research on AI, but can you actually use those tools to do your research itself better? The Saral is more of, okay, you've done the research, you have the output, you want to have mechanisms to disseminate it, that part, but broadly, we are working on all components of using these AI tools and social media for research. So I actually have a longer workshop, 3-hour, 6-hour kind of a workshop, only looking at this idea for PhD students, for researchers. How do you use these tools to make your research of high quality? So that's the why, right? Who is, of course, UG, undergrads, masters, PhD, anybody. But the interest is also to look at more of the aspiring institutes, aspiring students who actually otherwise don't have access to many of these tools and techniques. So we looked at, so if you look at the left bottom, so the research tools, that's a long list that we have curated. We've figured out how to actually place them all in this research life cycle and see how they can be used. For example, can you use ChatGPT to actually find literature review? Literature review, actually, AI2 Scholar is probably a better tool to look at literature review. Can you use Gemini to say that when you've identified a research problem, can you use Gemini to sort of say, get a sense of whether this problem is good or whether there are any challenges in it and things like that. So we've set up all the bottom part is all that, research tools on the left, on the rightmost, all the platforms that you can think of, ChatGPT, Perplexity, DeepSeek, Servom, all of that is listed there, how you can actually use it in this entire entire pipeline of starting from, oh, this is a domain that I want to work on, to the point of I published a paper, can I put a website, can I create a LinkedIn post, can I create a Twitter thread, all that. So that's the whole cycle that we're interested in. And of course, in the process, social media becomes extremely an important tool. Even the flyer that was created was posted on LinkedIn to get people sign up for it, right? How do you use social media also to look at how it can enhance the research capabilities? Today, if you see, meaning probably 5 years or 3 years before also, probably literature review, generally people did actually reading journal papers, research papers, archive all that. Today, I think the top researchers or anybody who publishes research paper probably puts a LinkedIn post or a Twitter post. That's where the literature review is very, very relevant now. People have started using these kind of platforms for literature review and also for recruitment, right? Social media becomes very useful for actually finding the right set of people. Collaborations, meaning I think we get so many messages on social media now about students interested in working with us, writing a review of a paper that got published. All of that is going on social media. So how can you actually use social media also to increase the quality of research and also use it for dissemination of research. All of this fits into very well what Siuli said about, look, we are interested in taking the research and positioning all of them to general public also. That's a broader view of probably 2 minutes or so. In that, we took like specific stand on what is that we can actually try and do. We said, look, we should actually look at 3 components in it. The second component is what I will spend more time on, and Saral is actually part of the second component. But there are 2 other components that I thought all of you should be aware of or may fit into some of the things that you're thinking about also. The first is people and communities, right? Which is probably such a workshop. Getting people to know about these kind of activities is what people and communities are. Can you actually build mechanisms by which researchers, so to say, collaborate with people, collaborate with researchers across the country? Can you actually give them opportunities that are not available otherwise? That's the people and community. The last one, I said about it in the last slide. Can you use social media? So the tech AI platform is where our one of the focus. We're spending time on all the 3 components, but the Saral is part of the second one, which is can you actually build a tool, a mechanism by which you can actually translate the paper into something, content that is easily consumable than actually reading this 20 pages or 8 pages paper. So now a quick tech stack, but don't worry if you're not into heavily on this tech side. It's only to give you a sense of, look, what are the components that we have used? We basically say that, look, the paper input that we are interested in taking from for the research paper can come from multiple mediums. So the one of it is from archive. I was looking at actually this morning, looking at the bio side of it and other ways, mechanisms by which we can take the input as papers also. So some PDF file, some LaTeX file, or the link to the archive itself. So that's the kind of, so this is the part I'm talking about now, right? You can actually get all of this as an input. Just take the paper, give it to a large language model to see whether it can summarize it in a way. So all of this we have done, and we have packaged it as a tool right now. But otherwise, we are using Gemini as a background for summarizing, for creating this bullet points from the paper. And of course, currently we are, so what happens is you take the paper, create the summary, find a mechanism to get this bullet points, images, all that. And then our interest was, initially we actually started off listing down what all outputs we can actually create, right? So I see PhD students, assistant professors. So when you publish a paper, you're probably preparing a poster to present your paper. You're probably preparing a deck of slides to convey your results. You're probably preparing a LinkedIn post, Twitter thread, blog, a video, right? So there are so many mechanisms, website. There are so many ways by which you can actually take the paper and convert it. So we've been working on all of them. This video one was the most, at least we were very excited, and we got the community feedback also a bit. So they were all excited about it. So we started working on video, but we are doing the other parts also, creating, so to say, one poster from the entire paper. Can you actually generate that? Right? So we take this text, put it to, in a way, create a deck of slides. I'll show you all this in demo. Create a deck of slides, create a video, and produce the video as an output. You can download all of them also. We made this tool public like 2 weeks back, 2 weeks Friday back, 14 days before. It's gotten decently enough attention from people, which is again the taking all of this and positioning it to a general public is our interest, right? So, I mean, of course, it got attention in some scientific side also, but the general public one is what is very, very exciting to see. So this is the one. Okay, now I'll actually move to the demo. I will stop sharing this, share my the Chrome browser to show you an actual demo. I took a paper in bio itself. I'll walk you through how you can actually do it. I will request you not to try it with me. So just watch me do everything, and then the URL is public, so you can all go do it yourself also. I can also give feedback if you're trying it out and if you have any problems. But for now, please watch it with me. I'm just switching my screen. Okay, so now you should be able to see my Chrome browser.
Yeah, we're able to.
Okay, so this is the paper I thought I will take to walk you through. I mean, I have no idea about what the paper is. And that's the reason why I wanted to take some of these things, these kind of papers. We have tested this in many ways. We've tested in two different ways. One is taking the same paper and giving it to different language models and seeing the summary and seeing the output. And we have taken multiple papers in different domains, giving it to the same model and trying to do the test and see what the outcomes are. All kinds of, so to say, little bit of a scientific evaluations is also done in terms of the output that we are producing. So this is the actual tool. So the URL is saral.democratiseresearch.in. So the idea is that democratiseresearch.in is our primary domain where we are planning to make these kind of tools public. And we have also made the code public. The code is on GitHub. Our plan is to actually do, if any of you are interested in it, please consider. We're planning to do competitions, hackathons, get community to actually sort of say contribute in the code. All that is planned. So as the first starting point, we made the code public and we're actually taking issues and everything there also. So this is the starting point. So if you see, I'll just jump to what are the outputs that you can see. So you can actually, so Siuli mentioned about languages. So we can actually do 11 languages now in terms of output. The paper in English, output in any of these, which is basically the audio, can come in any of these 11 languages that we can do. Right? So if you look at, let's start from here, get started. So for using this tool, I would strongly recommend you to create your own API keys. API keys are nothing but like a username password for access to a system. API keys are ways by which you can actually connect to the language models. API keys can be done for anything else, but in this case, it's for language models. So I strongly request you to, when you're using, I'll also show you how to create the keys. Can you do a +1 if you already have a key or if you know how to do these keys? +1 in the chat. Okay, only one. Okay, so what I did from the last screen was I just clicked on configure API keys. So there is a way. So we have set it up ourselves here. So when you go here, only two of you. If the rest of you want to try, please click on this button called Get API Key. So when you click, it will go to Gemini, and it will actually ask you to generate API keys for. So you can click this button called Create API Keys. So if you click on this Create API Keys, it will tell you what projects to create. So you can put Gemini API. Click the Create API Key button, you will get a key for yourself. I've created it myself, so I have the keys with me, which I will use when I do the demo. But that's all. When you click this button, you will get an API key that you can use. That's for the Gemini. So let's go back right? So that's for Gemini. And as I said, we also use Sarvam. Sarvam is the language model that we are using for these different Indian languages. So for that also, you need an API key. So click here for API key. So it's you can generate API key from here, API platform, just say get an API key. I already have an API key here, but I'll show you how to create. So you click this button, name the key, anything you want, and you can create another API key. So these two keys are needed to start, but if you're interested in as I said, I'll highly recommend you to create the API keys. So please use the API keys. Let me just show you how to, right? So let me just show you how to set up the API keys. So I already have my API keys here. So that's my Gemini API key, and that's my Sarvam API key. Okay. So I will say save configuration and continue. All right. So this is the part I said earlier, which is as an author of a paper, you'll probably have all the LaTeX source. You can upload the LaTeX source. The reason why we pick LaTeX is that it's just open source, so we can just easily process it, analyze it, all that. PDF file, you may have a PDF paper. So the aspiration is that it's not necessarily only your paper you're generating all this. You may generate a paper that you're reading also. Some of the ideas that we've been toying around is, can we actually generate the videos for papers that are published from India, top papers, and then put it somewhere and make it more accessible to people. The last one is the archive link, which is the demo I'll show you, but it's it's exactly the same even if you take any of the inputs. So I'll just say archive input. If you remember, I took the papers. Yeah, I took the paper for to show you the demo, the bio paper. I'll put the link here. That's the bio paper link. Okay. Right, so it's got so the reason why platforms like Archive is very useful is that because they give us all these things through a program itself. I could go to AP Archive, request for these details, easily get it in a program, through a program, rather than actually parsing the HTML page, trying to figure out what information is where. And the feature that I'm showing you now is you can actually edit whatever is coming from there also. Let's take you say that, look, I don't want it this way. I want it only the first name. This one, I just say, okay, July 2025 instead of whatever it brought. You can make all those changes in the as you move creating the content. Okay, so I say generate. So what it is doing now is it's taking the content, it's taking the URL, going to the archive, got the paper, now sending it to Gemini, trying to figure out the summary, trying to figure out different parts of the paper, what is the content and everything. So it's brought everything here. So now, few things to look at here. So first, these kind of headings is from the paper. And of course, all of this is customizable. So that's the thing that Siuli also said earlier. Look for different users. Some of these things can be changed. Some of these things can be modified. We're open to trying out all of that. So currently the version is, it gives you introduction, methodology, results, discussion, conclusion. So here also you can go say, change it. Okay, this paper is accepted at X, let's say, I don't know, right? Some things. So the capability here is that it's not just the content it is getting. As a user creating the video, you can edit and modify whatever you want in the video, right? And then it's brought in some bullet points. We've done a lot of optimization on this to get the bullet points from the section of the paper itself. That's why, again, archive helps, because we actually have the entire LaTeX source from the archive directly. We can also do images. So it looks like these are the images from the paper. Again, an advantage of using LaTeX source file itself or archive itself is because by processing the file, we can know where the images are. We also know, because the images are also uploaded on archive, we can actually get the exact .png PDF file itself. So I say, okay, in this introduction slide, please make this slide as the image. In the methodology slide, let's take, I say, keep this, right? So as such, you can change the bullet points also. You can add a bullet point. You can do all of that. Now that we have done, so I will leave the first two sections. Let me put images, and then next three sections, I'll leave it empty to show you the difference in the outcome that comes in the slides and in the video also. If anybody has any preference in language to listen. But here is a paper that was done, and these are the kinds of output that you can see. Any preference for language? Any of these languages that I should play? Let me just play, so to say, Malayalam. I don't think so. Anybody was from, let's do Hindi if you want.
A cognac shot to forget.
Sreshtha, you can hear it, no?
Yes, we can hear it.
Corrective unlearning for graph neural networks. इस प्रेजेंटेशन में आपका स्वागत है। ये रिसर्च वर्षिता कोलिप्का एट ऑल ने कंडक्ट की थी और 9 जून 2025 को पब्लिश हुई थी। आज हम इस इम्पोर्टेंट वर्क की फाइंडिंग्स और कंट्रीब्यूशंस
So that's the Hindi. So I'll just show you a few languages for you to get a sense of how well the languages also, because that's one of the critical things also, right? You want these languages to be, or the diction of the pronunciation of these text and everything. Like a month or 2 months back, the version that we were working on was not as good as it is now, because when you look at the technical terms, these language models also try to translate the technical terms itself in Hindi, right? It becomes very Shuddha Hindi, Shuddha Malayalam, all that. Currently, it is better. So I'll play Malayalam also. If there is any language preference you post it on the text, I'll do, but I'll pick 1 or 2 of them like this.
Short to forget.
I'll just move it so you can listen to the technical side.
Graph neural networks, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ GNNs, ഇത്തരത്തിലുള്ള നെറ്റ്വർക്സ് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള പവർഫുൾ ടൂൾസ് ആണ്. ഡാറ്റ പോയിന്റ്സിനും ഇടയിലുള്ള കണക്ഷൻസ് മുതൽ അവ പഠിക്കുന്നു. എന്നാൽ എല്ലാം ലിങ്ക് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് കൊണ്ട് ആരെങ്കിലും മിസ്ലീഡിംഗ് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ അത് മുഴുവൻ നെറ്റ്വർക്കിനെയും കണ്ടാമിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും.
So that's, of course, Malayalam, but last one I'll do English.
Welcome to this presentation.
So I'll go to the technical again side.
This research introduced.
To show you also, let's see if I do this, you can still see it, right? The part, if you see, if you remember, I did some parts with the images on the slides, which is where here it is on the right-hand side, the image of the image that we designed from the paper actually shows up as part of the slide.
This is also a concern when we use graph neural networks or GNNs, which are powerful tools for analyzing interconnected data. GNNs are used in many applications, from predicting social trends.
Right, so that's what the video that you're seeing. You can download this video, and the slides that the background, whatever the content is showing, that also can be downloaded. Right, so let me go to Saral. Let's still keep doing. Right, so get started. Configure API keys. I think this is like really stress testing the system, I guess. Many of us accessing this is very, very good for us to know at least it fails if some of us are doing at the same time. Yep. Okay. So that is Gemini. So figure out. Okay, so the paper is here. Let's get rid of this name. Let's say only 2025. Save changes, continue to scripts. Fingers crossed. Okay, good. This page is done. So now select some images. This is the first methodology, the introduction image. Let's do this as this image. Right, continue to slides. Okay, very good. Okay, so we got the slides, right? So this is the deck of slides that it creates. It's created. If you remember, I did the images for the first one. I did image for the second one. Third one is empty. So that's what it is, right? So this is a deck of slides. You can download this deck of slides. You can download the LaTeX version of this deck of slides, and then you can continue making the audio and video also. Let's click this. And you here, you can pick the voice you want, male, female. These languages that I showed you earlier is the list here. So if you have any preference, we can do, let's take Bengali. I don't know Bengali, but hoping that somebody can test it for me, tell me whether it works well or not. Right? So now it is generating, it is taking every section of the content that we created, giving it to Sarvam, generating this voice only from Sarvam. We already have the text, then it will merge both of it. We already have the PDF files. PDF files merged with this voice and merged with the sort of say slide content. It's going to generate merged with the slide content. It's going to generate the audio and video for us. And you can download the video also from this. So it's saying audio generated. So you can also download each and every section audios also separately. Because there were some people who were saying that, look, we needed only this section, that section. They can actually use it however they want once the content is generated. Because remember, you are actually editing the content. You can generate your the script as you want. So when you generate it, you're going to get the output of the audio also as you generated. So you can also use this audio files the way you want it. So once this generates, it will be the same as what I showed you before for as the output. As it generates, Sreshtha, okay, so let's just do this. Yeah. So if you see presentation complete, it says this is the paper, this is the author, paper ID, this is the one. And then I'll come back to playing this in a second. You can download the final video. You can download this PDF files. You can download all the sections of the sort of say audio only separately. Of course, you can talk about it in social. Let me just play this. So you should be able to hear it in Bengali. For people speaking Bengali, tell me how well or how bad it is.
Gender similarities dominate mathematical cognition at the neural level. Japanese fMRI study using advanced wavelet analysis and generative AI presentation এ আপনাকে ওয়েলকাম। এই রিসার্চটা তাৎসুরু কন্ডাক্ট করেছিলেন আর
I will let it play for a little while so that let's hear about it technically also. Most of the time, starting point is always introduction, but I will let it go to, let's take a minute or so. One more thing to notice is that if you look at the audio or video it is generating, it's generally roughly going to be only around 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's what we have set up. We have had multiple requests from people also, like Notebook LM, can you just generate a 20-minute 20-minute content. In this, if you see, it is mostly only one person speaking, whereas Notebook LM does a conversation. So people have made that request also to us, saying that can you make it like a conversation rather than only a sort of say one person speaking.
2025 সালে পাবলিশ হয়েছিল। আজকে এই ইম্পর্টেন্ট ওয়ার্কের কি ফাইন্ডিংস এবং কন্ট্রিবিউশনস গুলো এক্সপ্লোর করব। এই রিসার্চটা কোন প্রবলেমটার সলিউশন সেটা দিয়ে শুরু করা যাক। আপনি কি কখনো শুনেছেন যে ছেলেরা মেয়েদের থেকে ম্যাথে ভালো? ফ্রান্সের রিসেন্ট একটা স্টাডিতে দেখা গেছে যে ম্যাথ স্কিলসে জেন্ডার গ্যাপ স্কুলিং এর খুব প্রথম দিকেই দেখা যায়, ফার্স্ট গ্রেডের প্রথম।
So another thing that we have worked on a bit here is that if you see now it says when it has to say gender, it says gender instead of just dropping a very sort of say Shuddh Bengali, whatever that means for gender, right? So that's the small tweak, but it adds a lot more value when you actually hear it.
বছরে এই স্টাডিতে আরো বলা হয়েছে যে ছেলেরা ম্যাথে মেয়েদের থেকে বেটার পারফর্ম করে। এর ফলে কেউ কেউ বিশ্বাস করেন যে জেন্ডারের মধ্যে ফান্ডামেন্টাল কগনিটিভ ডিফারেন্সেস থাকতে পারে, কিন্তু যদি এই গ্যাপ ইনহেরেন্ট ব্রেইন ডিফারেন্সেস এর জন্য না হয়, বরং আমরা কিভাবে টিচ করি আর কালচারাল এক্সপেকটেশনস কিভাবে পারফরম্যান্সকে ইনফ্লুয়েন্স করে তার জন্য হয়, তাহলে আমাদের রিসার্চ টিম এই বিষয়ে আরো ইনভেস্টিগেট করার সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে। ছেলেরা আর মেয়েদের ব্রেইন।
I'll stop here. So that's what is the entire tool. And the plan that we have now is to use, let me see if I can just open my PowerPoint slides and then you will be able to see. Okay. The current plan is to actually do, we have already set up some competition. Internally, we have all the sort of say nuts and bolts thought about how to open up the code and create some competitions across the country for people to contribute. There's also another idea that in the last couple of weeks, people have been talking about when they hear this is, look, currently you're doing research papers to video. can you just do this for patents? Input is a patent and output is a video, because now one of the bottlenecks in India for translational research is that, look, a lot of research gets done, a lot of papers gets written, but it doesn't get translated. One of the challenges how does a technical transfer office of any academic institute or a startup looking for a technology even know about the paper? For them, they have to go to this paper, look at, read all that. So that patent has come out in recent discussions for us. And of course, we are looking at more languages also. Currently, the 11 languages are there. More languages is also something that we are spending time on. Okay, I will stop sharing here, and then I will share my slides again just to show you what else I had in my slides, and then we can take questions also after that. I'll just share it like this for now. Okay, so you can see my slides. And yeah, that's okay. Let's just leave it like this. Yeah, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take. And that's my social media handles. Feel free to send a request. I generally talk about all of this on all the platforms. Feel free to connect, and happy to take questions now. Thanks again, Siuli and Sreshtha, for opportunity.